Shio, welcome to the Red Road East. I am your host, Fierce Truth Seeker. So I deeply apologize for the lateness. It took a little while to get set up, but nevertheless, we are here. I know that it has been a while since since I've been doing a live. However, I was under the weather and had a slight bit of laryngitis that just is starting to subside. I'm still not 100% with the laryngitis. However, it's I say about 90% better. So, anyway,
Mm-mm.
today we have a topic of discussion that I really want to talk about, and it is East Coast Indigenous culture. Is it non existent? Is it borrowed Western Plains Indian culture? Okay. And I will be joined, or I am joined today with two guests who are no stranger to most of my viewers. Okay. And I have on the panel Firebird Graywolf and Hondo Davis. Okay. And
Mm-mm.
I will
Mm-mm.
put everyone on the panel on the screen now. Okay. So Firebird, say hi.
LCO, greetings
Hondo.
everyone. How are you? Good to see you and be back on the Red Road East again.
And
I
Hondo.
miss I miss your audience because they're very uh, good spirits. They learn from you. They teach things too of their experiences with history and their personal lives. And thank you for having me on your show.
You're welcome. And Hondo, say hi
Shio
to
Nagata, Shio Nagata, uh, Ashigushkwan, Dana Floha, District Seeker, and everyone who's out there in YouTube land. Um,
Great. So, what sparked this topic of discussion was someone who expressed concern about the their observations. I don't know if they had ever did any physical observations, but they mentioned, I will read the exact conversation. It says, "What
excuse
culture
me.
does East Coast got? Where's the language, customs, music, art, systems of kinship, winter counts, spiritual beliefs and practices? Where is it? What I see in the powwows is bits and pieces of other people's shit. That ain't culture or customs. That's a whole lot of different shit thrown together and borrowed from people out west and calling it Eastern Woodlands." So I found that very interesting. And I said, well, that would make a very interesting topic of discussion. Now, I can say that I have spoken to different powwow organizers about more emphasis on East Coast culture in the powwow circuit here on the East Coast. Okay. Now, what I can say is that some of that person's comment has some merit to it. Okay. However, a great majority of it is inaccurate. So again, and just based on the fact that I have brought that up to powwow organizers, and other people in the circle have co-signed on what I had brought up and had agreed. And I've spoken to some individuals about making that happen. Okay. Now, the parts of this particular comment, oh, well, also to put into perspective some of the things in this comment. Okay. So here on the East Coast is a lot different than out west. Okay. Because you have to remember the American Holocaust, and we can call it a Holocaust. Okay. Some people might get offended. I'm not trying to be offensive. Okay. But what we experience is definitely a Holocaust. Okay. That's not to minimize anyone else's experience. However, our experience is far, our experience is, I'm choosing my words carefully. Our experience, when you look at what happened to us, nobody can deny the fact that what happened to us here on Turtle Island was a Holocaust. I will just leave it at that. Okay. So anyway, during the American Holocaust, there were certain aspects of the culture that had been lost here on the East Coast. Okay. And you find survivals, you know, due to certain Europeans that came among I'm getting a lot of noise and feedback in the background. Can you
Sorry.
all mute your mics just for a minute?
Give me a minute. Sorry, hold on.
Okay, thanks. Yeah. So many aspects of certain many aspects of the culture among certain tribes had been lost and preserved in books by different chroniclers who came among various tribes. Okay. And some tribes had to adopt certain aspects of quote unquote Indian culture from the plains, and also adopt certain aspects, such as you sometimes see tribes in the east, on the East Coast, wearing certain headdresses and stuff that was, from the plains and things of that nature, just to assert Indianness. Okay. However, to say that there is no culture on the East Coast, that is inaccurate. So, with that said, I'm going to let Firebird start off by weighing in on this. Okay. And Firebird, what do you have to say in regards?
Well, I personally would like to know, where did he get that thought? What powwows did he attend? You know, where in the East Coast?
Exactly.
Was it northeast, southeast? Where? Private powwow or what? Because you know, powwows can be for several reasons. And to say that it's just bits and pieces of from the plains. I I only know of one powwow that was guilty of that, and we won't say what powwow it is,
Right.
but it took the proprietor many years to get it together and to include people from the Northeast tribes. I actually think he thought it was proper to do a plains type of powwow because, powwows can be money makers, and you have a mind frame of trying to show the audience what your interpretation of a powwow is and what people want to see, when reality you're doing a disservice to the people of the Northeast. So unless that person just went to that particular proprietor's powwow, he has not gotten the real flavor of the real history of the Northeast.
Mm-hmm. Or the Southeast.
Exactly. And now, as I said, that powwow has to show all people now. Powwows are actually intertribal on the Northeast.
Mm-hmm.
More so than out in the Midwest or the plains or whatever. We have a multitude of cultures blending together, at powwows. And we not only invite them, but we're married to a lot of them. A lot of them are our families. We intermarried, or we live among each other, So to say it's just plains Indians, I have no idea what this person is speaking of, and him writing you and putting that falsity on your page because he saw a video, and even the proprietor that didn't really show Northeastern natives, he's been showing them quite recently. So I don't even know where this new thought is coming from. How long ago did he visit any powwows on the East Coast or Northeast? Does he know what powwow stands for?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I can go into the history of the name of powwow as well, you know, and how it came about. That's a Nordic Algonquin word, which means shaman or medicine man. Okay, the Europeans misinterpreted the word when people gathered together. So they thought the event was a powwow instead of the leader,
Mm-hmm.
and the rumor and the reputation grew with that thought. But even in those meetings, a lot of tribes were coming together, to meet that spiritual leader, to hear what he had to say about war or unity or whatever. So we've been bonding together for centuries, you know. That word has been on the East Coast for centuries. It started all the way up in Massachusetts, and the tribes down here, Algonquin, share the same terminology, powwow, P-A-U-W-A-U, not P-O-W-W-O-W.
Mm-hmm.
Many of us still use the original word, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So, and you're right. A lot of tribes, they copy from each other. They might like a war bonnet, or they were gifted a war bonnet. They started to wear them. While the Wild West show with Buffalo Bill, he was forcing the Cherokees to wear war bonnets in his performances.
Mm-hmm.
And not only that, when the Cherokees were pushed to Oklahoma, they started to wear what was presented to them. You know, a lot of the customs were lost or intermingled and mixed, you know, and we're still doing that today. Hondo can tell you how we wear each other's regalia a lot of times, or we dance a style that is not from the Northeast because we embrace that style of dancing, you know. So that's just my spin on some of the things that's being presented in this presentation. You know, him putting that out is a falsity.
Hmm. Yeah, and I think I see Hondo is, cracking his knuckles, and he's ready to weigh in and you know uh put that comment into a full Nelson, and and put some of his moves on that comment. So we'll let Hondo do his thing.
Okay. So, okay, if you, huh, first of all, you gotta you gotta ask creator for a little forgiveness
Yeah.
for people who, you know, they attack things that they don't understand. So,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, the person that made that comment, it wasn't nice, but we forgive you.
Indeed,
Secondly,
indeed.
secondly, you know, okay, on Firebird, she touched on something about, you know, Buffalo Bill making our people wear the regalia of, um, you know, the Plains Indians, the war bonnet and so forth. You know, if you look at the history of the modern day powwow, that's where it actually began. You know, it's a leftover it's a leftover remnant of the Wild West shows that were created by Wild Bill. You know, and powwow powwow in itself is a testament to the resiliency of Native people to take something that was used against us to commercialize our culture and benefit someone else, because that's what Wild Bill was. He was a culture vulture. He was one of the original culture vultures. And, you know, we took it and we made it our own because, you know, after the Wild West shows were gone, powwow went on. You know, I mean, that's where we got the grand entry from, you know, because they would parade us in and have us show off for the crowd. So it became the grand entry, so forth and so on. And I'll touch on that stuff. But
Okay.
um, when you look at
Oh,
when you look
I'm
at
sorry, Hondo. I'm doing you a grave disjustice. Now, somebody who is looking at my channel and may not have seen you on my particular channel may not even know who you are. Now, we have right now the great and magnificent and world famous Hondo Davis. Okay. And Hondo is a
uh,
champion dancer. A lot of you people who call yourselves Aborigines have copied his picture and haven't given him a dime in his pocket. Okay. And
none,
his face has been all over on some of every
All over
Aboriginal
the
channel.
world.
Okay.
literally.
And he's also one of the black cowboys. And like, a matter of fact, give them, before you continue, Hondo, give them your whole bio. You could do it much better than I can. I know I'm hyping you up right now, but I know you can do it even better than I can. So introduce yourself, and then so that they can know this is not just a slouch talking. This is just somebody just sitting up there talking ish. This is somebody who can pull some rank.
Well, okay. Um, again, Afia Nagata. Waka chuka nastina, tako doon. Aya, uh, aya wiya, ana yan wiya. Um, so basically in English, I said hello to everyone again. Um, my name is Whispering Wolf. Um, I'm a native person. I'm of the principal people, the Cherokee people. Um, I've been in powwow culture for close to 15 years now. Um, I'm a Southern straight dancer. I'm a competition Southern straight dancer. I've served as head man for different events. Um, People say I'm a champion dancer. I'm just a guy that, you know, I'm just there. Um, I like to stay humble. Um, I'm a member of the Federation of Black Cowboys. I'm also a member of the Native American Church and a singer therein. Um, I'm a proud practitioner of my culture, of my indigenous culture and ceremony. Um, I don't speak Cherokee fluently, but I do study and learn the Cherokee language, and hopefully one day I will speak it fluently. Uh, and where I don't know what to say, I just say it in English and keep it simple. I don't make up words. I don't go out of my way to put on airs. So that is who I am as a Native person. I would say what tribe I'm affiliated with, but I'll keep that private. My tribe and clan, I'll keep that private.
Mm-mm.
So, but clan mother knows who I am and where I come from. That way. Okay, now can we go back there?
Yeah, yeah. See, Hondo is very, very modest. Okay,
I
so
try to be.
there is more to Hondo, but he's just a modest guy. So but anyway, he's
I'm just
giving
a
you a
man
little
that
bit.
prays.
He's giving you a little bit. So anyway, now you can continue on with your weigh in on that discussion. I didn't mean to
Oh,
interrupt your wisdom, but I just wanted them to know that hey, this is not just anybody speaking, and neither of you are just anybody speaking.
right. So, where did I leave off? You know, basically, powwow is a testament to the resiliency of Native people to take something that was used against them and to use it as a way of, promoting our culture and building community and, you know, a way of us surviving. We use it as a channel to survive. Um, okay, the history of a lot of those dancers that you see, they don't really originate. They don't originate with all the tribes that you see. You know, originally some of those dancers belong to a certain tribe. It's a part of their creation. It stemmed from their creation story.
Mm-mm.
As time went on, you know, and we gathered as we did. Tribes visited other tribes. That's how that's how children were made. That's how alliances were formed. You know, we would visit amongst each other, and we would gather, we would eat, we would sing, we would dance, and people from the visiting tribe saw those dances, and they said, "Wow, that's really beautiful. I'd like to try that." And so we being the sharing people that we are, we adapted these dances from the other tribe. And also, we bought the rights to those dances. Okay? See, that's the part that people don't know about. One tribe bought the rights to have that dance amongst their people. So they brought money, they brought food, they brought, you know, trade items, and there was a whole ceremony. And the rights to those dances were bestowed upon them from the mother tribe that the dance came from. And that's how grass dance became a, a, a dance known amongst many other tribes. That's how Southern Straight Dance became a dance known amongst other tribes. That's how all these dances came to be known amongst other tribes. There's a history. I don't know it off the top of my head of which tribes did what,
Mm-mm.
but you know that's how that happened. To touch on to touch on the commenter's dialogue, he said that what was it that he said that there
Yeah.
are only bits and pieces.
He says here, what culture does East Coast got? Where's the language, customs, music, art, systems
Okay,
of kinship, winter counts,
Mm-mm.
spiritual
okay,
beliefs and practices? Where is it?
okay,
What I see in the
okay,
powwows is bits and pieces of other people's shit. That ain't culture or customs. That's a whole
okay,
lot of different shit thrown together and borrowed from people out west and calling it Eastern Woodlands.
okay. I want to break that comment down into a
Hmm.
few pieces because that's a lot for me to
To
try to
digest, I know,
cover.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, well,
So let me
you
just
want to
get that
chunk it?
first little piece there.
Yeah, I'll
He
let you
said
chunk it.
that.
What culture
Okay,
does
let me get
East
that.
Coast? Yeah, what culture
Okay,
does
what
East
culture does
Coast
East
got?
Coast have? First of all, first of all, powwow varies from place to place. That's one thing. Powwow reflects the people that are giving it. Okay, so when you go out west, yeah, you're gonna see a lot of the Western categories,
Oh,
and you're gonna see.
I didn't mean to cut your wisdom, but I just wanted to interject. Now, Hondo has also been a judge at the powwows.
Uh,
Okay. So he's not just, you know, talking off of his head. Okay. This is someone who can speak from the perspective of someone who sits back at the powwows and judges and determines, who's going to win the competitions and things of that nature. So I just wanted to
Mm-mm.
interject just to let them know, to put some respect on your name.
and yeah, and I try to judge fairly, but we won't touch that. Um, so powwow reflects
Mm-mm.
the region and the people that are holding the powwow. So when you go out west, yeah, you're gonna see a lot of the northern plains dances and the southern plains dances. The further west you go, you're going to see bird dances and other dances that reflected the culture of the California Indians and other people like that. The further north you go, yeah, you're going to see a lot of northern traditional and the buckskin, the women, the women's northern men's and women's northern traditional and grass dance and chicken dance because those are the dances of the northern plains, and you'll also see them down in the southern plains. You'll see women southern buckskin in the southern plains, and the dances that reflect the people of the southern plains down there. But when you come over here to the East Coast, you're gonna see the dances of the people of the East Coast. I don't know what powwow you've been to, or maybe you're not that educated in what you're looking at. But usually, if you listen closely, the MC will describe to you what you're about to see, where it came from, how it got there,
That's
Okay,
right. That's right.
they explain to you the history of the dance. Some may not go into the greatest depths of it, but they give you a general explanation of what this is that you're about to witness. Because you're not just there as a spectator. Oh, look at the pretty Indian. You're witnessing something. That jingle dress dance came from here on the East Coast. It came from the Ojibwe people. That's not a dance from the Northern Plains. The Eastern War dance, there's a category Eastern War. It's not Northern War. It's not Western Plains War. It's not Southern Plains War because Southern Plains War, if you really want to, that's Southern straight. That's my category that I dance. Even though I'm a native of the East Coast. Okay, so Eastern War, the Eastern War category, that is the dance of the people of the East Coast. That's the dance of the East Coast warriors. That's our interpretive dance, retelling and recounting the ways of our ancestors, the ways of our being, our creation story, wars of times past, tracking and hunting a quarry. The same as the Southern Plains, same as Southern traditional does that. Eastern traditional does the same thing. You have the smoke dance. Even that's a category that's gone all over the continent, but it originated here in the Northeast. The stomp dance came from the Southeast. Sometimes
Exactly.
you go to certain powwows here on the East Coast, and you will see the stomp dance being performed.
That's right.
I even have pictures of Lonnie and Robbie Smith and myself and Jason Stokes and other people. We're performing a stomp dance. And it wasn't really for the people. It was because we we're all relatives gathering from different tribes, but we're all from that common culture. So we
Hmm.
had a stomp, Miccosukee, Seminole, Cherokee, Creek. We were all together. So we had a stomp out of respect for our ancestors and our ways.
Hmm.
People watched. They thought it was a part of the show, but no, we were just doing what we do as Southeastern people. So for you to say that there are only bits and pieces of Western culture and everyone else is shit, that's first of all, that's very disrespectful.
Yeah, yeah.
Secondly, that's very wrong because that's not true. The Shinnecock powwow, one of the largest powwows in the nation. We're there at Shinnecock. You will see bits and pieces of the Western culture, but the majority of what you see is focused on East Coast culture. There's even a pole there on the dance ground that stems from East Coast culture, where the men were supposed to go and count cool on that pole as we dance. But that pole is there. And if you look at some older videos and you look up on the drum as we're dancing around, you will see that pole is standing there in front of the fire.
Hmm.
So, you know, before you go attacking something that you don't understand, get a better perspective on what it is. You know, it behooves me how people think that everything that they see just automatically is ascribed to the Northern Plains people.
Exactly.
We had the fight first. We were the people of first contact. I'm a descendant of Powhatan's people, the first contact people, and that's not to discredit the Tainos who were literally the very first contact people. But we were the first contact people on where we lived when the Europeans came in. My family goes back to Jamestown and further back. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So, you know, what else did he say in that comment?
And then he also says, I'm assuming it's a he. I could be wrong.
Or I'm sorry, what did they say in the comment?
He said, "Where's the language?" Well, we speak the language all the time. I open up the show in the language. You were speaking the language.
I was speaking the
Firebird speaks the
language.
language every time we come on the show.
The language is alive and well. Where is it? It's right in front of you. When you
And
go to the powwow,
how can he come to that conclusion about the language just at a powwow? You know?
yeah. I mean, they have a prayer in the Mohican language at Shinnecock. The songs are in Mohican.
you know,
Youngblood singers, they sing in the Mohican language.
and they do Native American sign language, a prayer, you know,
Yeah,
in sign language. So how can you come to that conclusion from what he's seen? You
I
know,
know.
I don't know what he's seeing, but that's nobody. You're way wrong. You're
Hmm.
way wrong. You're
sound like
way
he's
wrong.
also sounds like he's very angry.
Yeah,
Yeah,
very.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Exactly. That's what that was the tone that I was picking up. I could be wrong, because sometimes you could be misinterpreting what the tone may be, but that was the impression that I got.
And then don't forget,
Did the powwow he attended, did it say northeastern powwow? You know, what
and we
was,
don't describe our gatherings that way.
you know?
Hmm.
But
He didn't even
you get
say
to
whether or not
touch
he even been to a powwow. He never
you,
said.
you
Exactly.
usually you get to touch and feel of who the people are by the powwow, by the tone that's set at the powwow. And we usually assert who we are at that powwow. Yeah, you see these other dances, but we are such and such a people. Thank you for coming to our land. Thank you for visiting us here and gracing us with your presence and allowing us to grace you with our,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I've given many powwows, and they were Eastern Woodland, but we had all kind of people there, all kinds of
That's right.
natives coming together. Have been a
That's right.
curator, a historian, so on and so forth. And
Yeah,
we didn't really think about, separating by your culture here on the Northeast. Everyone was welcome, gathering, unless it's a setup where it's a tribal gathering.
yeah.
It's really open.
Tribally specific.
Yeah, exactly. Then it's open up to whoever graces our grounds, you know.
Right. And aren't you an Eastern blanket dancer?
Yes,
Oh,
I'm an
there goes
Eastern
that
blanket.
word Eastern again.
Yeah, I'm an Eastern blanket dancer. I have dance fancy, which is not from here, jingle, a few other categories. As I got older, Eastern blanket I felt was the most creative style of dancing for me and for many
Hmm.
women, and I've been dancing it ever since.
Who is that there on the screen that we see?
A much a much younger and slimmer me.
So,
But
y'all in YouTube land, this is a younger picture of Hondo. Okay, so
a
if
picture
y'all
that's
didn't,
often stolen.
yeah, that's been often stolen by a lot of you all. Okay,
Yeah.
and so now you know who is on the panel talking. Okay,
Yes.
and you can see him in his fine regalia. Okay,
Mhm.
and I just recently found out that he actually makes regalia. He kept that
Yeah.
secret. I told you he's humble, you know, and he doesn't,
It's my own.
he doesn't promote himself like he really should be promoting himself. So, did you make this also?
Um, hmm. That's an outfit from my younger days. So there were pieces that I salvaged and repurposed, and but that I put the outfit together. You know, the
Okay.
top I didn't completely make. Now, if there was a picture of the aprons and the leggings, yes, those I sold myself.
Mm,
Fierce, you got some questions for Hondo.
yeah. Hold on. I'm trying to get Donna in. Give me 1 second. Yeah. So that is some nice regalia there, man. That is really
Thank
nice.
you.
That is really
Wow.
nice. And you have a couple of comments. Man,
Well, okay, so um, our NASA, no, the
she said
Ojibwe
she
are
says
not only in Canada. What'd you say?
Awanasa says very creative in reference to your regalia there.
Okay. Ice the Box. I
Mm-mm.
have never attended a powwow yet. I'm this year missing the Nanaco. Unfortunately, I have a question about powwow. Do tribes play flute during drumming?
Oh,
Um,
she's saying there's a question from, yeah, ice the box. Let
okay,
me put
so
that up.
Ice the Box.
Mhm.
No, there's no flutes during drumming, but not at the powwow, but there are very special moments where very sacred items called eagle bone whistles are blown, and that's for very specific purposes. Sometimes it's to honor the drum, sometimes it's to honor an elder, sometimes it's to honor someone that's passed, sometimes it's for the healing of someone, because these dances are not just silly dances that we go out there and do. You know, some of these dances have very sacred origins and continue to maintain very sacred meaning. Like
Some
the
to
jingle dance.
honor sun dancers as well.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So that when that eagle bone whistle is blown or a river cane whistle is blown, that's a very special moment. So that's the only flute that is used. Well, it's really not a flute; it's a whistle. So yeah.
Yeah, so we are also joined with our great friend and
Hey, Donna.
and and
Hey,
Hey,
also
sis.
teacher Donna Coane.
hello. How
Hmm.
are you?
Good, good. Yeah,
Yes.
glad to have you on the panel.
Thank you so much for inviting me. This is great.
Yeah, yeah. I see you had some problems getting in, but
Yeah,
you
all
you you
figured
you
out.
made it.
Yes,
Mm-mm.
I made it. I'm here.
My
Yeah.
girl.
Uh,
That my
Yeah.
twin
yeah,
in my last life.
absolutely.
Yeah. So
I tell
for
you.
those, I will also introduce Donna, and then we'll come right back to you, Hondo, so you could finish with your statement. Um,
Mhm.
as a matter of fact, well, I'll do that when actually I'll let you finish up, and then I'll introduce Donna, and then let her, and also introduce the topic as well to her. So finish up with what you were saying, so you don't lose your train of thought.
Okay, so basically, to sum up what I'm saying You know, we have our own culture here on the East Coast. The languages are very much alike, and there's not just one language. We
Exactly.
have different dialects of the Algonquin language. We have different dialects of the Iroquois language. Cherokee is an Iroquois language. You know, I'm learning. I'm learning to speak the
No.
Upper Hill dialect. You know, so because there's several dialects. Um, so you know, the winter counts and things of that nature, those are with our elders. Some of those things are lost due to colonization, especially at the hands of the church. And a lot of our culture has evolved into, you know, very Christianized forms of our culture. Some were completely erased due to Christianity and the encroachment of Christianity, which is a very sensitive topic, and we'll get on. You know, we'll touch on that another time or maybe later in the podcast. But thank you for giving me my first truth secret, and that's all I'll say right now.
Oh, you're welcome. You also wanted to deal with a couple of other parts. Did you still want
Yeah.
to deal with other parts of that? Or you want to?
I'll um let Donna introduce herself, and
Sure.
and then we'll keep going from there.
Okay. So now we're going to move on to. Hold on one second. Let me X that screen out there. So now we are joined with Donna Cowan. And did I pronounce your last name right, Donna?
Not really. It's Cowane.
Oh,
Like
Cowane. Sorry about that. Sorry to butcher the name.
yeah,
Cowane.
that's right.
Yeah. So, and Donna Coane is a drummer, and she has actually, her group has won an award. And
Two,
I'll let you do your
two,
introduction because you
two.
can, 2 awards. Okay. So, Donna, introduce yourself to the YouTube viewers and give them your bio because I don't want to butcher it or do any injustice to it.
I doubt you would butcher it. Anyways, I'm Donna Coane. My native name is Santa Escalindo, which means small deer, and in Mohawk. And I'm the lead drummer and singer for Spirit of Thunderheart, a all women's drum group. We were the first one to ever win a NAMI for being a big powwow drum. Um, so, anyways, that was very honorable. We have two Native American Music Awards, three nominees, and we have, I'm looking at my wall, I think 13 or 14 um, record awards for our record company. Um, Silver Hour Awards, that means, uh, you know, big success, contributions to the Native American music industry. That's what it is. So, anyways, but I'm also not just a drummer and singer. I'm also I teach. I'm a Reiki master and teacher. I am also an EFT, emotional freedom master and teacher, and I also am a spiritual leader, traditional healer, and
And tell them
some
your
other things.
nations.
I just won't get
Tell them your nations.
into. Okay, so basically, I was raised Mohawk, so I am Mohawk, and my one side of my family, as the Mohawk side, is also Chippewa and Cree, and the other side is Piscataqua, which what came from the Mohegans rather, sorry, Mohegans. Some of us went into the Piscataqua, so I'm kind of like a mutt, I guess you can say. But anyways, I'm proud of both sides of my family
Mm-mm.
for being here and made it this far. You know, all the way to where I'm here, and I have my two kids, and here we are. So we're not the dinosaurs; we're still here.
Yeah. And so that leads into the topic of discussion actually. Um And so, what inspired this panel discussion was actually a concern from someone in YouTube land. I had did an interview with Tony Moonhawk from the Puspatuk. He's Puspatuk and Pamunkey. I think that's his other nation. Um, and someone left a comment on that particular show, and they said, because we were talking about East Coast indigenous culture, that was the topic of discussion on that show. And someone left the comment. They said, "What culture does East Coast got?" And I'm reading this verbatim, so this is not my grammar. I'm reading verbatim what they said. What culture does East Coast got? Where's the language, customs, music, art, systems of kinship, winter counts, spiritual beliefs and practices? Where is it? What I see in the powwows is bits and pieces of other people's shit. Excuse the French. That ain't culture or customs. That's a whole lot of different shit thrown together and borrowed from people out west and calling it Eastern Woodlands. So that's what sparked the topic of discussion for today. So myself, Firebird, and Hondo had given um, our knowledge of different aspects of the culture that still exists on the East Coast. And so that's why I brought you in on the discussion too, to also bring your perspective on what culture uh, exists and still exists on the East Coast.
Okay, so I guess I'll put a little 2 cents in there. Um, anyways, in New York State we have the Six Nations, which originally was the Five Nations, which is the Mohawk, the Oneida, the Onondaga, the Cayuga, the Seneca, and then Tuscarora. So that basically goes across New York State, and originally, and a lot of the Five Nations were shifted around, but of course, Tuscarora came from the down in the south, came up here. But then you also have the Shinnecock, and you have let's see, what else in New York State? The main ones there that are federal, right? So those are the main ones really in New York State. Um, Now we do have some of the Sofas still alive. The Sofas that are still alive are, either in Canada or they're in Wisconsin, with the Munchies and the Huygens. But I do know some of the Sofas here that are here and still alive and well. And we also had the Wappingers here. I do know someone that is still alive here that is Wappingers. But the Wappingers kind of like Quinnipiac, it kind of died out, even though there are some Wappingers left. And of course, the Sophis, there are some Sophis left that are also local, so not just in Canada and Wisconsin. So basically, how I see it is the powwows that are local here, like in the Hudson Valley. There's no real tribe here that is right here in the Hudson Valley that is recognized, interstate or federal. So you have a lot of people that come to the powwows that are local here that mix and mingle, and a lot of people that do come to the powwows here are not really from, you're talking 5 hours away from here, or 3 hours away from here. And some people that are actually here. So I think that's where some people get their view of the powwows that are more local here than if they were up on the reds, any of the reds of the Five Nations or Six Nations, as you would say, or the Shinnecock. So basically, that's kind of how I see it. How people get the idea of mixing and mingle, you know. And then you get a little bit from over here, you get a little bit over there, and you grab this here and this down there and up there and all over the place. And they mix it all up, and then next thing you know, there's confusion and misrepresentation. So I think that's what happens sometimes. Not all the time, but sometimes. Um, I think that's what's here. So that's what people see. I mean, if I wanted to go somewheres where, I have great representation, I probably would go up, the trip. That would be a lot more than just going 35, 45 minutes or hour. I would take a trip that would a lot longer than that, just to go somewheres where, you know, I know people that I've gathered and, put on a great event and learning for all, people that maybe are non-native coming in to want to learn. That would be where you would actually get some good learning in. So I guess. My viewpoint. But I'm also at, especially in today's time, we have to really accept and love everyone the way we would want to do. You know, so that's important. But like I said, if you really want to learn, go up to one of the res or one of the one of the communities and kind of learn from them. Ask questions and you know. I think that's kind of where it's at, where it should be at. We had a lot of powwows here. There are not so many powwows left here now, but there were a few that were really, really good, and they were good representation. Tony Moonhawk put on a great powwow.
Oh yeah.
Bill also did a great powwow. And then there's some that were here that just were, all mixed up, like what that person was talking about, But the other two were really a lot of fun. When they did their powwows, it was a lot of fun, and I think it was great representation. As far as a few others, I would say probably not, but
Mm-hmm.
what can you do? I mean, it's the Mid Hudson Valley, it's the Hudson Valley. We're not next door to any of the reservations that are close. They're very distant away. So.
Then they also said, "Where's the language?" You want to weigh in on that?
Yeah, I can weigh in on that. Like I said, a lot of people here are local, don't know their language. So when you talk about language, Europeans can go back to Europe and learn their language. Where do we go to learn our language? That's true. And with missionaries and language was taken away. So a lot of some families dealt with that losing the language. Came a time when there were very few elders that knew the language. But then the children started to learn the language, and they're in schools, and they're learning the language. We're teaching it to their parents. We're teaching it to actually grandparents. So that's kind of where it's at. Where I know that, I of course with my group, I write a lot of our songs in the Mohawk language. It's a way of keeping it, alive in song, and passing it down, But there's a lot of words I don't know. I don't know some of the newer Mohawk words, and I struggle to even remember some older Mohawk words, So, when I was a certain age, you couldn't really speak the language. It wasn't cool to do that. But then as you get older, you go back to the language. You keep it alive. I'm keeping it alive with, not just family, but also, through song, through music. you know.
Nice. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
language is important because language identifies us who we are, where we came from, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so language is important. It's important in, even in ceremony. It's important in teaching. It's important in conversation. You know, keeping it alive. And, you know, so language is a very important part of our culture. If we don't have language, then who are we? You know,
Exactly.
so you know, like I said, you know, um, we can't just go back to you know where we came from. We came from right here. You know, if
Mm-hmm.
we you know our other Europeans are here, they can go back to Europe and learn their language,
Yeah.
and you know, and then communicate and carry it on. You know,
Mm-hmm.
but you know, languages are coming back, and it's coming back to the youth, and they are teaching it to the parents and to the older ones, and that's how language is reviving itself to the youth, which is really good, really
Yeah.
good.
Oh yeah.
Thank God for modern technology, you know, because
True.
now you have tribes that are, doing immersion courses online. You
Hmm.
have tribes that are sponsoring immersion courses for children in school. You know, I mean, Cherokee Nation, they do that. They have children that are 3 and 4 that speak more fluently than, people, 10 and 20 times their own age, you know. Um, and then, that there's language revivals, you know, because, our elders were afraid that a lot of our languages were dying out, because every time we lose an elder, a piece of a great chunk of knowledge goes with them. We don't just lose a person. We lose a big chunk of our history. And that's why we have to make sure that we record and sit down and talk to our elders, record and listen to them, you know, and hear everything that they can tell us. You know,
Indeed.
um, I want to touch on what you said, Donna, about like uh, how I was being all mixed up. Because yeah, like we we have these intertribal gatherings, but a lot of that speaks to another part of Native culture, migration. You know, some of these powwows, you know, we have those categories. We have the Western categories because Pan Indianism came around in the 30s and 40s, and you know, it flourished well up into the 60s and 70s. So yeah, everybody was doing the Plains Indian thing. Everybody was wearing war bonnets and just dressing like the Plains Indian people because that was Pan Indianism. That was a period in our people's history. But then there came a new way of thinking, you know, because there were groups of people who said, "That's not who I am. This doesn't represent my people. We have our own culture," and so then the move started to be to exemplify and to focus more on our individual cultures and to represent that and that's how it started to become in powwow too, because people got tired of, oh well, we do all this and that, but what about my people? What about our dances? you know it's nice
Mm.
that we have those dances here. We have those people's dances here, but what about our social dances? What about our ways of gathering? And so powwow started to, evolve, yet again. Um, you know, But yeah, a lot of people migrate. Think about the iron workers that used to live here in Brooklyn, the ones that helped build the city. You know, and then a lot of the natives that moved off of the reservation and into the inner cities. Thanks to Eisenhower and his relocation program. You know, some of those powwows were influenced by those different periods in our history as Native people. Because up until a certain point, some powwows they didn't have northern tradition. They only had this and that. But these guys were living out here, and these were Lakota guys, but they were living in Chicago. So they brought that with them. They showed
Hmm.
up to a place and oh hey, there's powwow going on over here. You know, oh them guys don't have this category. Oh well, we're gonna go over there and show them how it's done. And things, they evolved that way. So that's
Hmm.
how things got kind of. That's one of the ways that things kind of got mixed up. The way I understand it.
Yeah,
But
I think.
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I think Firebird was trying to weigh in. Firebird, were you? Your mic is muted. Firebird. I don't know. I saw you. Look like you were trying to say something.
Um, no, basically, um, that concept that he has of not knowing the language and where's the culture, it's just wrong. It's wrong. You can't determine that by going to one powwow or even two powwows.
Right.
You can't
Exactly.
determine that because that atmosphere might not cause you to be able to speak your language or see a lot of the culture. Depends on the situation, you know, and for him to make that determination based on his experience at a powwow is just giving false information and bad feelings where there shouldn't be any bad feelings. One of your viewers asked about even giving tobacco.
Right. I
How
was
do
just
you
trying to put that
approach?
on the screen.
Maybe he needs to think about bringing some tobacco to a powwow and speak to an elder there at the powwow. Ask the customs. Ask if is this a traditional Eastern Woodland powwow. Ask questions. Just don't assume. You know,
Absolutely.
just don't assume just by face value of what's going on around you. Powwows
Hmm.
are for several reasons. I mean, it could be for a child's birthday. It could be someone has crossed over. You never know the tone. It's best to go ask. If you want to approach an elder with tobacco, the proper thing is to go up and introduce yourself and tell them what you're about and your interests, and ask them, may I offer you some tobacco as a blessing or in friendship, you know? And maybe this young man should do the same thing, you know? That's the
Yeah.
traditional way. You just don't go up to someone and say, here's some tobacco. Introduce yourself properly and ask questions,
Yeah. True.
offer tobacco to the drum, or to the MC, and tell who you are. You want to learn, you want to give thanks. It's several reasons why you might offer tobacco or ask, and I have a feeling that this young man, he approached the event very angrily, so that energy is not conducive to what we like to do in powwows, you know. So that's what my weighing in is about. You go there angrily, you're gonna bring anger, that type of energy into the event.
Exactly. Exactly. Yep.
You're not going to learn anything because you already have your mind made up.
Yeah, yeah. I always say ask questions. I always tell my viewers, I said I learned more by just not saying anything, and listening,
Be
you know,
humble.
and being humble,
Approach. Yes, be humble.
It's not that I'm a rocket scientist or anything. I was just humble.
Right. Just be humble and approach everyone, the drummers or whatever, with much respect, not anger. People can sense that anger, and that resentment because
Yeah,
you're not seeing what you want your narrative to be, you
yeah,
know.
exactly. Exactly. And people can sense your spirit. If you
They
have
can
a
sense they
sincere
actually can.
spirit, they're gonna know. If you have an evil spirit, they're gonna know. They're gonna pick up on that.
Yes, and I wanted to address someone saying about the Ojibwe in Canada. Yes, the jingle dress started in Canada, but Ojibwe people are everywhere like anyone, but it started in Canada, So, uh, my sweetheart Alvinasa said, I thought Ojibwe was only in Canada. No, we all move around, dear.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
But the dance category started there in Canada, in upstate New York.
Yep.
Nope.
You
Yeah.
have something to say, Donna?
We lost.
Yeah.
I don't have glasses on, so I can't really see who we lost. But we lost someone in the combo here. Looks like. But anyways, yeah, with some of our dances, I always see our dances being a little bit different, and in a sense, of what the powwows are like local here, you know. Um,
Mm-mm.
like we have the canoe dance, the couples dance, the shuffle dance, smoke dance, shuffle dance. Um, and those are, of course, here, and we're gifted with the alligator dance, you know. So,
Yeah.
so I mean, I don't always see those at the powwows are local here. I would only see those up north, Um, but that's why I say people should go and learn, travel a little bit and learn, you know. And you're definitely right about listening. We were taught really young to listen.
Yeah.
We actually weren't allowed to ask questions. We had to listen. You know,
Hmm.
but now of course people are interested in asking questions. But I think you're definitely right about listening. Just listen and hear what people have to say about their culture. You know,
Hmm.
because that's where it's at really.
Yeah.
And and yeah, I've had people come up to our drum and tobacco and ask questions. And I'm honored to answer them you know and answer their questions and share a little bit beyond what they've even asked. But
Exactly.
yeah, it's always nice to have an offering and you know and then that's the right way to do it actually.
Hmm.
So I've
Um,
been given tobacco, sweetgrass, sage, you know.
Ice the Box asked you, Pierce, do tribes play flute during drumming? And my answer would
Um,
be it depends on the circumstances. That's more of like a show presentation, playing the flute at the same time they're drumming.
Hmm.
no. Yeah. No, I've never seen drummers actually play a flute at the same time drumming, actually. Not really. I mean, always the flutist is always like a separate, showing, really.
Yeah.
From drumming. I know we as a group, we coincide sometimes with another musician. He's a flutist, but also plays guitar and drums. But he sings, and when we're collaborating together, if we do like Amazing Grace, he'll play the flute along with us, and we're doing
Right,
an acapella.
right,
So
right.
but in that sense, yes, but not a flute actually playing alongside the drum, as in drummers are drumming, song after song after song. I've never seen that.
Yeah, I've never seen that either.
Yeah, that's more of a contemporary thing to do, like in a show presentation or something. But drumming is traditional by itself. And
Hmm.
that's not something Donna would normally do unless she's doing inviting people to do a performance, on a show, a special occasion. Otherwise, she's traditional.
Yeah, absolutely. So hopefully that answered the question.
Alvanasa said the Indian schools forbid students to speak their indigenous languages.
Mm-hmm. Yes, they absolutely did. You weren't allowed to speak your traditional language, and a lot of times your hair was cut, and you were made to wear clothes that you weren't used to wearing, and
You ate?
just
Huh?
stripping the culture. That's they're trying to make you into people like them.
Hmm.
That's what happened.
It's been reported over 10,000 children from those schools have been found dead.
Mm-hmm.
So not only were they forbidden to speak their languages, they were being molested and murdered as well.
Hmm.
Yep.
So the
Yeah.
Catholic Church is in big trouble over in England.
Yeah. Yep.
Almanasa says, I love to see the shawl dancers, very graceful, telling a narrative, better, more feminine than twerking.
I can see it now with the shawl. Oh my God. Oh, that's a good one. Oh my God. Almanasa is funny.
Look at Hondo. Hondo's cracking
up. Please don't let that become a tradition.
I know, right?
I can see the fringe moving now. Oh my God. I have to laugh at myself. Oh my God. Oh my goodness. People are funny.
Oh,
She's funny. Oh God. That's hilarious. I'll say anything goes these days,
Anything goes.
They won't see me back at that powwow. Oh no.
Got Hondo over there blushing. Oh my God.
Where is Hondo? I can't see him. He said he got bounced off.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he got bounced off. I could see.
Okay, wait a minute
I
now.
can see him, but y'all couldn't hear him.
Excuse me.
Oh my
Wait a
God.
minute now.
Okay.
Listen. I'm not ready for all that now. All
I
this
can see you
twerking,
Hey, Hondo, I can see
and dropping it like it's hot with the shawl. Look, child. Don't get me wrong. I've been tempted,
that's a
but
49.
whatever.
That's a 49er event, you know.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, let's keep the number at 40 now.
Yeah, let's move it down to 40. For those that don't know, that's
Woo!
what goes on after we get together
That's
after
that's the after
the
party. That's when we let our hair down.
Oh God, that's hilarious.
That's
That is
that's
hilarious.
where all them little Indian babies come from. The
I'm telling
49.
you, around the campfire, you know, down by the beach, powwow on the
That's
beach, you know.
that's what I told one of my little nephews. He said, Uncle Hondo, where the babies come from? I said the 49.
The 49ers, right?
The 49. He said, is that where I came from? I said, yep. I saw it when it happened. Your daddy met your mama at the 49. That's where he came from.
I'm telling you, you know, that'll be a new category for sure.
You
We
know,
Oh
can't
boy.
blame that one on what's his name, Bill's Wild West show.
Yeah, you
A
can't
new,
blame that on Wild Bill.
a new tradition.
Yeah.
Who's going to win that category?
Woo!
yeah, exactly.
Oh my God, I can see it now.
hmm I also
Yeah.
wanted to say, for anyone who was interested and so kind to leave a donation, I'm gonna leave a link in the chat. It's right there. I just put it in the chat.
Yeah, because I'm broke. And time is money.
Yeah, I hear that. And Hondo makes regalia. He makes
Yes.
chokers. Tell them what you do. As a
Shirts.
matter of fact, promote yourself. You say you're broke. Promote yourself right now.
Well, if you're looking for, you know, chokers, earrings, bracelets, I make those. Ribbon shirts, I make those. You know, I can even make a ribbon skirt. I've been thinking of attempting it. I'm gonna see how it goes. So depending on how that goes, I'll let you guys know. And if you want ribbon skirts after I do that, sure thing. Um, I do a little bit of ribbon work here and there. Um, and I'm going to be uh working on some t-shirts soon. So look out because I'm gonna have some designs for some t-shirts coming out. So you guys look out for that.
And you have a website that they can visit.
I don't have a website, but you can reach out to me at Facebook at Hondo Davis.
Okay, I'm gonna put your contact info in the chat.
And
So I'll put down Facebook, and that's just your name at Facebook.
yeah, you know, so
I put it in the chat. And so now also Donna, let our viewers know the services that you provide.
Okay, well, I do teach Reiki, level 1, 2, and 3 master teacher. But I'm also an artist. So I make earrings, I make beaded earrings, I make chokers with bone, silver, and also brass. I used to make regalia, but I've stopped. My eyes don't allow me to do that like I used to.
By
I
the
don't make
way,
regalia.
she is an excellent. Let me just add before you continue on, Donna. Uh, Donna is an excellent teacher. Okay, and she is also both Firebird and myself and Firebird's teacher in Reiki. Okay, and she is phenomenal. Okay, I just wanted to throw
Uh,
that in there so you could continue on.
well, thank you. Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, that's pretty much. I also do make battles too, and I do make drums. I do a drum workshop where one workshop is where I teach you all about the drum, um, about the history, the culture of the drum, where the drum came from, different beats, different sounds, all about the heartbeat, the etiquette of the drum, and then I also do another drum workshop where I teach you how to make the drum. So, you purchase a kit and I do a drum making workshop. So I also do that. I make turtle rattles, I make bark rattles, um, board rattles, uh, and that's about what I can think of at the moment. Um, but if you're interested in taking Reiki, my email would be djcoane@gmail.com.
Let
If
me
you're
write
interested
that in
in
there for you.
class,
I'm gonna write that in the chat for you.
okay.
Give me that again. DJ.
djcoane@gmail.com.
That's one
And then
N.
if you're interested, one N, yeah.
Okay.
And then if you're interested in booking our group, then it would be spiritofthunderheart@yahoo.com.
Hold on. We're getting a lot of feedback, so they can't hear
Utah.
you. Give me one
That's why I take
second.
them out every day.
I'm gonna have to mute the mics. Give me one second. Okay, so your contact, um, DJ Coane, Coane at
Right,
gmail.com.
right. It would be, let's see.
Okay, so I just put it in the chat.
Yeah, DJ. Yep, that's right. You got it right. Yep. So that's for Reiki. If you're interested in booking us for our group, Spirit of Thunderheart, the email is spiritofthunderheart@yahoo.com, and our
I'm gonna
Facebook.
write that in the chat as well.
Okay.
Give me one second for booking Donna's group. Okay, give me that contact again. Booking the group.
Spirit of Thunderheart@yahoo.com.
Okay, I just put it in the chat. Just check it to make sure that it's
Okay.
correct.
Y'all took the dog out?
Yeah, it looks like it. And visit our Facebook or Spirit of Thunderheart on Facebook.
Okay, that's the same. Okay.
And you can purchase our CDs right off of Facebook. It's easy. We have 3 CDs out: Rising, Unity, and Tradition.
I'm gonna put that in the chat too. Facebook for Donna's group. CDs, etc. See. And Spirit of Thunderheart. There you go. So I put it in the chat,
Yep.
and so now, yeah, they can hit you up and request the CDs and bookings and all of that good stuff.
Thank you.
And Reiki, definitely check her out for the Reiki, all of her services. Donna is really good people.
Thank you so much. It's an
Hmm.
honor. And if
Likewise.
anyone ever needs some reading or even Holy Shoni Healing Light, they can reach out at my Facebook there on DJ Cowan at gmail.com.
Explain to them what you mean when you say they may not know, we know, but when you say hold on a Sony healing light, they may be
Okay,
a
so
little
that's
confused.
it's something that I was taught by years ago, and it's basically very close to Reiki. It has similarities but yet differences. Reiki brings in the universal life force, whereas Sony Shoni brings in Turtle Island. So that's what the two differences are. But they're both equal as far as the power of the treatments are exactly equal. Um, so that's the difference. And Reiki, you get certified for level one, and then you go into level two, you get certified, then you go into master teacher and get certified. With Haudenosaunee, it's passed down. There's no certification, there's no teaching of it where, he's going to be taken on to learn it like you would Reiki because it's passed down. It's cultural, it's passed down. So that's the difference.
Great. And yeah, so um let's see. Firebird, you want to add anything else to the
Um, just working on a big event to come up in New York, hopefully in October. The city approved the permits. It was delayed because of a personality, but we got a new permit and we're working on it. Um, some of my Ramapo extended family, and that'll be announced when we have our first meeting. And I think a Facebook page and a group will be developed to let everyone know what we're trying to achieve. But it will be historical. I did
Oh
one.
yeah.
I did one in the past, but it wasn't annual, and this one is supposed to be annual, and we hope for it to grow. And it's for Native people. You know, I can't say much more right now because I haven't had the first new meeting.
Hmm.
But Fierce will keep you abreast of what we're developing, um, and hope that people in the New York area or tri-state area would be able to come or even be a part of it in some way. So between that and doing my show and my other activities keeping me quite busy. I make jewelry as well.
Yep.
I haven't had time to bead or make anything, but I will be doing that over the summer. But those are my major projects, and thank you for asking.
Hmm. Yeah. So and yeah, I know we went a little over the time, and I apologize. I think right now we're gonna close out because I know everybody must be hungry and you know tired and all of that good stuff. But yeah, I thank all of you for joining in on the discussion, and this won't be the last. And I will say in closing, To those in. Oh, I'm sorry. I think someone before I close out. I think we missed something that someone was asking. Um, okay, it's a couple, but anyway, we can deal with that in the next discussion. It's getting kind of late, and I want to eat myself.
Guess
But
what? Guess what? I got barbecue sauce all over my face.
Wow.
That's why you can't see me on
that's
screen.
that's why we couldn't see you.
Hey,
I was wondering.
hey,
I'm about
hey.
to have me some good stuff
I'm jumping in
too.
and out.
I was wondering. I
My
know you
granddaughter just hooked me up a big plate and my
Ooh,
mom barbecue sauce everywhere.
and that's what's for dinner over here too. Barbecue chicken and hash brown.
Wow. Yeah,
Barbecue
we're
sauce on my
excited.
fingers. My point, I beat you to it.
You beat me to
Well, I'm bringing up the tail real soon.
Da, 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 da.
I'm so jealous.
it.
Psych,
You
too
know how
bad.
you know how to cook, Hondo?
Oh, I can
Yeah, he
throw
knows how
down.
to cook.
Oh, okay.
I can throw down. When I get ready to, yes, I can throw down.
Yeah.
Donna, someone is asking you a question. They want to
Okay.
know if they use the Gmail account for the drum information.
Okay, so the drum information would be spiritofthunderheart@yahoo.com.
So that would be Ksto. That would be the Yahoo information that I posted in the chat. It says for booking Donna's group, the Spirit of Thunderheart at yahoo.com. You'll see that in the chat. You can get her there. Oh, and you have a performance coming up, Donna. Do you want to talk about that before we close out?
Okay, so the one that's coming up soon is June 18th, and the concert itself starts at 1 o'clock uh, on that Saturday. We are opening up. We're doing about 6, 7 songs to open up for our musician friend's concert. He's a Chippewa, and his name's Alan Zachary, and he is awesome. We've collaborated with him before, invited him to our concert. He's invited us to his, and so we're actually opening up for him with 6, 7 songs, and then at the end we're closing out with sharing songs together that are actually his songs and some of our songs together at the end, and then he's taking on the middle part of the show. If you want to learn to kind of, if you want to see a demonstration of flute making, that starts at 10. And where it's at Brunel Park. Brunel Park. You can go on Brunel's website, uh, Brunel Park. Just Google it. It'll come right up. Um, it's in Boyceville, New York. The park is on Route 28, Boyceville, New York. And
Brunel is how you spell
yeah,
the name of the park. Okay.
yes, yep. And beautiful park. Years ago, there's a fellow that had a trading post there in a log cabin. And then Emilio Brunel, he's the one that built the statues up on the land, up on the hill. And there's a chief that's praying to the sun. There's a woman with a papoose that is giving ownership to Mother Earth. And then there's another big statue there. A couple other statues. Um, I have a women's lodge up on the hill there. Um, and it's really nice. It's a nice area. So it's Boyceville, Route 28, Boyceville, New York, Grinnell Park, on June 18th. Demonstrations at 10, concerts at 1 o'clock, and yeah, come and enjoy.
Donna, did you give your website? Did you give your website link?
We don't have a website. Our website got kind of
For your drumming.
But we have Facebook, Spirit of Thunderheart. You can visit our Facebook.
Spirit of Thunderheart.
Yes, on Facebook.
Okay.
And like our page. You can buy CDs there too. And share our page and like it.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
Yeah.
Okay, so I thank everyone, and I thank also all of those who joined us in YouTube land. And right about now, I'm getting hungry.
You can't see me, can you?
No, yeah, eating up that good barbecue.
All over my face.
Yeah. So until the next time, I'm gonna close out and say, Doda Darga Honey.
Donna Coane.
Go ahead, Dr. Station. Dr. Station.